Toy New Age shop. Me and the owner, Miss Alicia, are going to talk about ley lines, and she's going to start to talk initially, and then I'm going to show a small little demonstration.
Hey folks, how you doing? Okay. Well, tonight I wanted to cover something that I previously covered in articles, and I talked a little bit about. I didn't give quite enough information on the subject. Ley lines. Now, what is a ley line? And yes, I do have an outline typed up behind me so I can keep myself straight because everybody knows how much I enjoy wandering. But hey, ley lines are actually the energetic veins of the earth. And that may not make a lot of sense, but think of it like your body's blood vessels, okay? The earth has energetic vessels. They basically conduct power and electromagnetic activity. Now, generally, this has been a thousands of years long idea, concept, whatever you want to call it. But lately, basically in 1921, the man to colloquially term ley lines as ley lines was Mr. Alfred Watkins. He was standing on a hill in Herefordshire, England, and he started to see all these different lines coming up. He turned the ley lines and then began to write books and things about them and to talk about them. And it's wonderful that he brought them back, but they've always been here. Hold on, I'm going to move that camera just a little bit because it's bugging me a little bit. There we go. All right. Anyway, and so I'm going to grab my outline here. This time we actually have a demonstration for you, so but let me grab my outline. As you guys all know, I love using Evernote. Evernote is something I write my classes on. It's something I do all my articles on. It's an amazing thing. So here we go. Step one, what's a ley line? Step two. Okay. Now, one of the things that people do, a lot of people, there are ley line hunters out there, because being over and tapping into a healthy ley line is amazing. Basically, what it gives you is just a supercharge of energy. If you're not careful, you get a little hyperactive, might feel a little buggy, especially if you're already energetic. Yeah, like her, she should not tap into a ley line ever, any circumstances. But the thing is, a lot of people will just sit and go, oh, well, these three sacred sites interconnect. Yay, it must be a ley line. While that is logical, that is bullshit. You actually have to go out and dowse all your own ley lines to find your local ley lines. You can use it with a pendulum over a map. You can use dowsing rods in the area. One really good way to figure out if you're over a ley line is to see how you feel when you go away from that area. Now, keep in mind, the ley lines, they're thick, they're big. And so depending on how big they are, that's going to be the radius of the influence that you'll feel. But when you're right over that line, you're going to feel a huge difference. If it's healthy, you're going to feel great. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to feel a little bit like you got ADD. Okay, but if it's not good, if it's toxic, if it's sour, then you're going to feel really negative. You're going to feel unhappy, depressed, anxious, tense, slightly neurotic. Hang on, let me see here. Where am I at? Now, the sacred sites, they are a really good way to do place markers for the ley lines, because all the maps I have ever found, they just don't do it justice. I have never personally found an accurate map. I'm not saying that they're not out there, but I have not found any ones that I can vouch for. You have to go out there and do the work. Point blank, you have to find your own ley lines. And I do any metaphysical, any intuitive, any occult leaning, any sensitive, any psychic, I say find your ley lines in your area. That way you know where they're at. One, if they're healthy, you can tap into them and recharge if you've been severely drained. Two, if you're a healer, you can use them in healing work and really supercharge your healing work. And if they're sour, you can go out and get them cleared. Because this is not just, oh, these are New Age people, this is a metaphysical person's job, this isn't my problem. When you have sour ley line, and I'll read off some of the symptoms here, your entire area suffers. So, that being said, most of your ley lines are actually going to have to be filled out. There are no maps, there is no real blueprint to this yet. But it may be coming. Okay, how do they work? A ley line pumps energy, it pumps electromagnetics power through a series of vein works that we can't see because they're etheric. much like our body pumps blood to keep us healthy and to keep us alive. So how can you tell the health of a ley line? This, for what you need to do, you need to go and sit outdoors away from everybody else, preferably by a waterway. Sit there and pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to your body aches, your illnesses, your thoughts. And for this, you really have to know your own mind. You have to know your own body very well, which is something that I preach to everybody anyway. But see how you feel. If you start to feel very good and positive, more than likely you got a healthy ley line. If you start to feel really negative, really depressed, really just, oh my God, this is hopeless, this is never going to get any better, and everything starts to hurt more and you start to feel sicker, you probably got a toxic ley line. But you need to compare the symptoms just to make sure you're not experiencing a negative entity or empathic bleed back or anything like that. But that's also why I say go out to a waterway. Now, some signs of a toxic ley line. And this is going to be area-wide, folks. Now, the one here in Des Moines, granted, Des Moines, we have a node. Now, a node, it can be called a nexus, power point, or I'm sorry, power center, power junction, vortex. It's been called a lot of different things, but I'm just going to use node for simplicity. When you have a node, that's two thick ley lines that cross. Right there in that center, that is your supercharged energetic geyser, and that just shoots out energy. You toxify one of those, you got yourself a real problem. Here, we got one that's toxic. So I'll read down the symptoms. This will be area-wide. Ours is a 500-mile radius. Excessive fatigue, excessive sickness, problems with plant growth, problems with animal health, general air of misery, metaphysical grime. Now, when I say metaphysical grime, I'm not talking, oh, it's dirty. I'm talking, it's clean, but you can see that just skank coming off the walls, okay? You can see the skank just rolling off and you don't want to touch anything. That's metaphysical grime. Excessive mental illness, i.e. tension, anxiety, neuroses, buildings, yards, etc. They look run down and kind of nasty. Just, they don't look like anybody cares or is putting any effort into them. Excessive negative entity activity, that's a big one. Spell work going really wrong, that's another thing. If you're on a ley, another reason you need to know if you're on a ley line, because if you are, any spells you're going to do are going to be supercharged and you're not going to realize what's going on. Things can get out of hand really quickly. There's one case of a lady who did that. She did some dark magic working against someone else, and the problem is she didn't do her research. She was over a solid ley line. She called in an entity. The entity overrode all of her controls because it was supercharged from the negative ley line. So, yeah, I know some people have been trying to put that genie back in the bottle for a while. Yeah, don't do spell work over a solid ley line, and don't do spell work if you don't know if you're by a ley line or not. Do your research thoroughly. Anyways, okay, crime goes up. Homeless numbers rise, excessive negative behavior, selfishness, excessive negative energy. Basically, the area is just going to get sick. Another quick thing, negative entities love a solid ley line, and I'll tell you why. It's actually really common sense. Can you guess, Antoinette? No. Really? Okay. What a ley line does is it creates a 24/7, 5-star banquet, buffet, whatever you want to call it, for negative entities. And so basically what happens, they come in, they make the energy worse, because of course they want to eat, right? And then it draws more entities and it gets worse, and so on and ad infinitum. But they're fine because this is what they love. This is what they love to live in. So there's that. Also,
So I have a question. So would you say they feed off that bit?
oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
They feed off of a negative ley line, but also they feed off of the misery that surrounds it. Think about it. What does a negative entity like to eat? They like to eat misery, depression, all the negative emotions, anger, lust, fear, violence, hatred. And no, I'm not just going all 7 deadly sins on you guys. I'm serious. The denser entities eat this stuff up like it is candy, only a hell of a lot more nutritious for them. It's just the problem is us, as the negative entities, cattle, suffer hugely. And it's not just us that suffers, it's the kids, it's everything. So again, when you're doing spell work, you've got to be very careful because that blowback is not just going to hit you, it's going to hit everybody in your area. It's going to hit the family down the street with the nice little kids with the newborn baby. Be careful what you do. So, how to identify a healthy ley line? By the way, did that answer your question?
Yes.
Awesome. With ley lines, you get a vertical field that shoots up out of the ley line, and it goes through homes, it goes through buildings, it goes through everything. And it's not normally dangerous unless it's sour. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to feel hyperactive. That's straight up yang, positive energy flowing out of the earth into you and everything around you. So yang energy, wanting to be doing something all the time, hyper positive, hyperactive, do, go, 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 go. Lots of energy, okay? Love and life, super positive. Oh my God, the sky fell. Well, we'll just put it back up. That kind of a thing. That kind of an attitude is going to permeate you when you're right over that line. And awesome for healing, awesome for a lot of spell work, awesome for charging up, awesome for recharging yourself if you really spent. The only thing is, if you're already pretty hyperactive, I'm not even gonna say it right there. Yeah, right there, that one, that. You can feel a little buggy. It will almost feel like you can't slow down, you just can't stop, okay? And you're just gonna be like up all night, like you're on meth, going, oh my God, okay? But you're not on anything. Your friends and neighbors are like, are you okay?
Yeah.
You're like on fire. So, but yeah, it has led to a couple of times of mowing the lawn in the middle of the night. Yeah. Wow. So yeah. But if you sit down or you lay down over the ley line, you can actually recharge yourself and meditate. And no matter how sick or tired you actually are, it will bring you back up to either your normal, or it'll kick you over and dial you up probably to about 8 or 9 in energy levels. The only thing is, be careful. Too much of a good thing is still too much of a good thing. It could go kind of badly. Like I said, don't mess with the ley, please. Okay. Now, the main sensations you're going to feel are buzziness, charged up, energetic, really positive, sometimes a little hyperactive, sometimes a little lightheaded, or fuzzy. But you'll know. How do I find a ley line? Like I said, there are maps, but none of them are really accurate, at least not to my experience. You're going to have to douse it with a pendulum over a map. You're going to have to go out and douse the actual area around you. I highly suggest doing the map first. And then also, like I said, sit out in the field. It's especially helpful if you do it when you're about to buy a house, something like that, because you will be able to know how the feel of the land is. If it is on the ley line, if it's by a ley line, if the ley line's sour, that's all really going to make a big difference for the place where you're living, even up to and including apartment buildings and places of business. They're important too. Yep. Also, one neat little factoid I wanted to point out. There are people that are born kind of dialed up to 11 with their senses on the earth, and I call these people geosensitives or geointuitives. These guys are really plugged in, so storms, earthquakes, things like that, they're going to hit them really hard personally. But the nice thing is they have a real gift for placing people in the right areas, placing people in the right homes. They're wonderful when it comes to real estate. They have a knack for working with ley lines. They have a knack for working with anything to do with the earth. I'm not just talking trees or anything like that. I'm talking all the different energy meridians and vortexes on earth. So that's awesome. And by the way, if you can get a real estate agent that is like that, or one of those, super awesome, because they can basically connect you like two puzzle pieces to the home that you need to be in and that you can actually work with energetically. They also have an easier time clearing houses of negative entities because they just work with those lines going, okay, fine, you don't want to talk to me, boom, all right, you're out, goodbye. You know, it's really neat to watch one work. Just saying, it's awesome. What can you do with a ley line? You can do all kinds of things. Unless it's toxic, then you're shit out of luck. You just don't fuck with it at all. Some examples: supercharge your healing work, recharge yourself, supercharge metaphysical work, supercharge spell work, charge up your crystals, and dispel mental fuzz and fatigue. What should not be done with a ley line? Depends on the health, but if it's healthy, do not abuse the energy of the ley line. Don't do it. You wouldn't want a tick tapping your blood vessel all the time, so don't do it to the earth. Okay, just use what you need, leave it alone, give back when you can. Okay?
I have a question. What would be considered abusing a ley line?
If you're just tapping into it all the time.
Okay.
If you're not actually using your own energy and grounding and things like that, if you're not using your own energy for your work, then you're abusing it. Don't do it. Only use it when you actually need it. Because nobody needs that all the time, except the earth. Do you want me to go more in detail? Or?
No,
Okay.
that explained it.
Yeah. No tapping into it all the time. I know what you're thinking.
Okay.
But no. Also, do not use it for dark energy or dark magic work, because that's just not nice. That's really disrespectful, and eventually that's going to bite you and everybody else around you in the ass. And do not toxify the line, ever.
Yeah, and just like what she was saying, you use it for dark magic, you might toxify that line.
Yeah, actually, there's a really good chance you could. Also, if acts of violence are committed over the nodes, that's a real quick way to toxify a ley line. Rapes, murders. I'm not going to progress into the nastier stuff, but ritualistic killings, things like that. That'll kill a ley line real quick. Well, it'll skank it up real bad. And some people actually do this on purpose because some people are stupid. We don't like those people. So yeah, this is also why we're teaching people how to clean it, because we want everyone to be able to do this. We want a nice, clean, healthy ley line system for everyone's benefit. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, cool. If it is diseased, do not do anything. Get it cleaned up, or notify your local metaphysical store, your local witch, your local voodoo practitioner, anybody that knows about this stuff. Go to them and say, hey, I think I got a skanked up ley line. Can you guys check it out? Can you guys go out and do a ceremony? If I remember correctly, the Lakota Indians, as well as a few other Native American tribes, used to hold huge dancing ceremonies over the ley line nodes to clean them and things like that. But I've only heard it purported. I don't have any good substantiated evidence, so, But how is a ley line different from a node? Well, ley lines are lines. You've got big ones and you've got small ones, just like the veins in the body. And then the nodes are the spots where they cross. And those are really big, thick, and geysery. Now, quick thing, I am going to throw in a theory that I've heard quite a bit, and this has been going around since about the 1950s. Basically, it's theorized that our ley line grid is actually connected in through outer space and through two other worlds that have their own grids. And the nodes are actually basically your connection points to out and about out there. So that's really neat, because you could actually connect into the energy of other worlds, which would be super fun. It's currently untested because there's no real way to test it at the moment, and get empirical results, but it's a pretty neat theory, and it definitely is going to be making the talk on portal wing a little more interesting.
Yes.
So now we go to demonstration, how to clean a node or ley line. You probably want to clean out your tributaries that go into that node before you hit the node. So you clean the different lines and then you go in and get the node too. So go for it, my dear.
Okay, fantastic.
I'm gonna eat a wintergreen.
Awesome. So what I figured out, the best and simple, I like to keep things very simple. The simplest way to clean a ley line is any kind of holy water, or you can make your own blessed water as well by, just praying over it, putting your intention, meditating, whatever you choose to do with that. So let's say I'm out at the water right now. So what I'm going to do,
This is the water. This is the nasty, skanky ley line water.
yes, I'm just basically going to scoop a cup, just so like this, with the water out, okay? And then I'm going to take, which is holy water, okay? Which you can make yourself, or you can come to your local metaphysical store usually, or church, or whatever you like, and get
Actually, no, I disagree. You need to be making it yourself. It has to be your energy. Now, what were you saying? Pouring positive energy into that water.
Yes.
It has to be from you. Don't rely on your local metaphysical stores. Don't rely on anybody else. You make it yourself. And I'll tell you why. Because if you make it yourself, it is going to have that much more punching power. And that's what you need.
You know what went into it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Right.
It's not the guy in the back peeing in the water.
Right.
Anyway, I'm kidding. But
so this water has already been blessed with my intentions and everything like that. So what I'm going to do is just take a little bit and put a couple drops. I got 3 drops in there. Now I'm just going to swirl it around. And then I'm just going to pour it like this back into the ley line. And then what you can also do if you want to give it an extra kick and just put more positive energy, almost like a wishing well, grab a penny, tradition penny, throw a penny in there.
Now, quick question. How do you put your intention in? You taught me how to do it, but I want you to teach them how to do it.
Okay, so what I like to do is I like to write down what my intentions are, so then that way I don't forget anything. And then you just think about that intention and place your hand over it and just, say, let whatever intentions I have, I'm putting into, this, and this is the way it's going to be. And I want this all to be positive energy for myself and everybody else surrounded, with no negative backlash to anything, and just release it back and release it back into the earth or back into the object or the water or the stone or whatever you're using.
Now, also there is another component to that. When you showed me what to do, you actually have to feel what you're doing in your heart.
Yes.
So, what did you tell me? Bring up a memory or
something that you truly, truly love or feel passionate about, or even a time that you were really happy about something, and go back to that time, and that way you could really feel, and that way you're able to really put your full intention and feeling into what you're doing.
Gotta feel it. That's where all the power comes from.
Yeah.
Just yeah, like that. Yeah. People out of the lakes will think you're a little weird. That's okay. Just be like, that's right. Hey, call me.
and then that way, the ley line is clear. And then what I would do what you do afterwards, I would lay down and I would actually test and see how you feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That way.
So it'll happen that quickly.
Yes.
Woo!
Well, it does for my energy. I don't know about anybody else.
Okay. But just quick thing. Her energy is just like really fast. Seriously. I've had healings from this girl. Holy shit. Right? No. Think of it kind of like if you have poisoned blood, putting penicillin in the blood. And I mean, you can take a drop of penicillin and it just clears out nasty shit. So that's pretty much what you're doing. You're using that positive energy. You're using the holy water. You're using everything as penicillin, and you're sticking it in that vein of blood and going, be cleansed, be healed. So yeah. All right, guys. Is there anything I didn't cover? Anything I skipped
Nothing
over?
else. I mean, you made a lot of good points. I've learned a lot, and I hope you guys did too.
Well, heck, I've learned a lot. All right, rockstar. Thanks, guys. This is crap. Antoinette, say hi.
Hi.
Okay. This is Alicia and Antoinette from Des Moines New Age Shop signing off. See you next Friday night. Hold on, gotta get the thing going. And live. If you're in this way, you'll be able to choose if you want. Okay.